What is going on YouTube, and welcome back to another Fridge Financials video. In today's video, we actually are breaking down my paycheck. As you can see on my screen, we have the paycheck breakdown along with everything that I'm paying out, whether it's taxes, insurance, and everything else, and what I'm basically left over with in my paycheck. So if you're excited for today's video, make sure that you smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so, and make sure to turn on the bell notification for all future uploads. Now, obviously, I wasn't going to display my actual paycheck because there's information on there, of course, but I have all the numbers written down, and we're going to walk through and look at the percents as to where my money is going towards. So we're going to start with the paycheck part first, then the deductions, and then we'll look at the total net pay that I will have for my paycheck as a high school teacher. So first thing, again, I teach up in Connecticut, so it is definitely, a higher end paying area for educators compared to somebody out west, somebody down south. So just keep that idea in mind that I feel like I get paid or compensated more up here than other educators do across the country. So keep that idea in mind as well. So for first things first, my paycheck breakdown, I have three essentially jobs, if you want to call them, as to what builds up my overall gross pay. So my first one is my standard teaching job, which is $2,515.92 according to my last pay stub. Again, I get paid every 2 weeks salary pay for the 10 months. At the end in June, when we go out for summer break, I get a lump sum check, which I will break down that one in a different video when I get closer to June. So stay tuned for that one as well. So my teaching job, my standard teaching job is $2,515.92. Now, what I have done and what I do over the last couple of years is I tutor along with everything else, and the tutoring is paid out through the same school district. It's not private tutoring. I tutor through the school after school. I say after, and they pay me, I think it's like 35 something an hour, so $35 an hour, and that accumulates to an average of, well, this is for this week, this was 7 hours worth of tutoring over the last 2 weeks. I get $246.68. Now, when it comes to my district, and maybe if this happens in your districts, let me know if you are an educator watching this. We have what's called an overload class. What an overload class is that we essentially don't have enough math teachers in our high school. So we're short math teachers in the high school compared to the student population. So what they do is they ask if anybody wants to take on an extra class. Now, thankfully, we do get compensated for the extra class. So instead of me having 5 classes that I teach an extra 6th class instead of having a prep period. Now, yes, that does involve a lot more stress because I don't have as much time to prep my things and grade and everything else. So I do tend to bring some work home. So the overload class, this is my 5th year of teaching. I've had 3 of these overload classes in my 5 years, and I've had them for the entire school year. So this overload class I've had since day 1 of our school year, and that one gives me an additional $446.93, bringing my grand total gross paycheck to $3,209.53. And before we look at the deductions and taxes and everything else, what I realized as I was making this spreadsheet here is that I've increased my paycheck by 21% by taking on these side jobs here. This is an extra $600, almost $700 added on into my paycheck for tutoring, which is not too much out of my time. It's only a couple hours like a day, a couple days a week. And the overload class, which, don't get me wrong, this extra class is a lot because I have to grade papers, I still have to lesson plan for it, I still have to, have classroom management and everything else and contact parents. So it does give me extra work. It's not like it's like an easy $500 paycheck extra. It's a lot of work to do it with grading and everything else. But with these two combined, it gives me an extra $700 in my paycheck that I initially didn't have. So, it's kind of interesting to see how it's, I'm looking at 21% of my paycheck now is just from extra jobs, which is pretty cool. Which is why they say, hey, side jobs, side hustles do make a difference. These are 2 side jobs that I'm thankfully enough to have it where they're still in my main career job of teaching. So I thought it was really interesting. Now over to the deduction side, where we obviously have money taken out of our account. The first one is union dues. Now, if you are a teacher, you might be in a teacher union. You don't have to be, but I am a part of a union. Our dues are split up over the entire year, but they actually are split up where we're done paying around March or so. So I actually don't have any dues being taken out for the rest of the year. So it's a nice $0, which is great. My dental, I pay $7.19. And my health insurance, I pay $145.58. So those are my, dental, health insurance. Life insurance is a whopping $1.57. And my long-term disability is a whopping $1.98. So I do have life insurance policy. I do have long-term disability. So I'm taking out a nice combined $3.50 out of it. My TRB, which stands for the Teacher Retirement Board, that basically is what helps build up towards your pension when you eventually do want to retire and not be an educator anymore. So what I contribute to that is $326.22. That includes just regular and also health as well, which goes into that towards when you get to retirement with pensions and everything else, because when you retire, you need to have still health and everything else. So that is there. My 403b account is my retirement account. I put in only $95 into it. Nothing too crazy. Just kind of build it up while I'm not actively managing my money. Somebody else is managing my money as well. The next one after that is the federal tax. The federal income tax is $301.61, which is huge. But it's federal tax. Obviously, it's your tax bracket you're in. And again, I'm in like the 70,000-ish tax bracket, so it makes sense. Medicare, I pay $44.27 into, and then my state income tax is $118.80. Okay, so my gross pay for my paychecks is $3,209.53, and then I have $1,042.22 taken out, which means that my total net pay is equal to the gross minus, if you ever want to do spreadsheets, reach out to Elise. She's really great at these, better than me. Minus my deductions gives me my paycheck of $2,167.31. So every 2 weeks, obviously this number is going to change because it's how the hours are, and if we're not open, like spring break is on right now and we're not open right now for it, so my paychecks are going to go up and down by maybe $100 or so, give or take, but it's about $2,000-ish usually every paycheck for every 2 weeks, with everything taken out: dental, health, life insurance, disability, taxes, everything all taken out. And I am looking at, again, a total net pay of $2,167.31. Now, if you watch my previous budgeting video that I made with the spreadsheet from Elise, again, shout out to you, Elise. I think she has more subscribers than me, or she's very close to it. So good for her, because she deserves all those subscribers she has there. But the previous video I made on a spreadsheet with breaking down my budget for the month, again, I said it's about $2,000. I don't know what the exact number was, but about $1,000, give or take. So you can see how then I take my paychecks and I break them down into my expenses, into my investments, and into my bills. So just in case you wanted to see the breakdown of, a teacher paycheck, this is where we're at. Again, I'm in Connecticut, so it is a whole different, income compared to down south and out west and everything else. But yeah, I just wanted to look at how cool it is that I'm actually adding an extra 21% of my total income here. But obviously the overload class is a problem in education because we don't have enough math teachers. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something new and you saw a couple things, and you hopefully get a little more of an insight as to who I am as, just your average person here. I'm not making a $8,000 check every 2 weeks. I'm making $2,000 every 2 weeks, just like an average person I feel like would, give or take, obviously. And then you can watch the video about how I break down my budget into my investments and everything else. So if you made this far in the video and you're not subscribed, and you're subscribed to Elise but not to me, please subscribe to me. But if not, it's totally okay. Again, if you have any kind of questions, any kind of financial topics you want to talk about, make sure you leave them down in the comment section below as per usual. I hope you guys are still making money in the market as always, and I will see you guys in the next video.